Okay, you remember when we were looking at proportionality and we talked about the form of an equation, y equals mx, sometimes known as y equals kx? Well, there's that formula again. And what did we say each number represented? Well, the important one was this one. It's always a unit rate. So when we're looking at equations and we see the m value, that's our unit rate. But we also need to be able to define our variables. What do y and x represent? So let's look in these next problems. It's pretty easy to do. Bridget makes $15 an hour styling hair. Write an equation to represent how much money she makes. Identify what each variable represents. Well, I always like to start with my unit rate, 15. That's how much for every 1 hour. Now, if we put x over here, that is how many hours she works. Because you think about it. If she works 1 hour, she gets $15. 2 hours, she gets $30. So what would this be over here? What would our y be? That would be our total amount paid. How much we have to pay her. So when you look at this, not too hard to do. You just have to consider the different labels that we have, like hours, total amount paid, and our unit rate. Let's try another one. Jennifer sells necklaces for $20 each. Write an equation to represent how much money she makes. Identify what each variable represents. Do I have to use y equals mx? Not necessarily. Let's see what it looks like if we use different variables. So I still want to put the 20 right after the equal sign because that is our unit rate. And what's our unit rate represent this time? This time it's how much, or I'm going to put money per necklace. Now, if she sells one necklace, she makes $20. 2 necklaces, she makes $40. So what if I use an N and I represent that for necklaces? And over here on the side, on the other side, what if I use, I don't know, M for money made? How much total money made? Okay, so you can use whatever variables you want. Doesn't really matter, but you do have to be able to define them. So as far as we're concerned, most of the time we want to use y equals mx. Why do we want to use that? That just helps us when we're trying to plot them on a graph. It lets us know which one goes where. So that's your basics of how to identify the meaning of variables in an equation.